I heard about a very large, battle-scarred tomcat that had been living on the city streets. He was struggling, and I wanted to help. Firstly, I needed to find him. I looked around the bins he was known to eat from and searched the dirty, damp alleyways, with no luck. So I knocked on a few doors and was told he slept amongst the bin bags in a yard of an empty house. I sat in wait. He finally appeared, but was cautious enough to stay behind the gate. I could feel the scabs on his head from fighting, and one of his eyes was weeping heavily. I set the trap. It only took 3 minutes. I'm sure he wanted to be rescued. Now home, the muscular boy, who I call Buster, took what were probably his first steps inside a house.
That's a good boy. Oh, come on.
My heart broke when this big, tough boy, who had spent years fighting to defend his territory, hid behind the curtain.
You're very gentle, aren't you?
A few minutes later, though, and I was amazed that Buster accepted treats. It was beautiful to make a connection. And give him his first proper meal. I had put a blanket in his trap, hoping he'd use it as a bed. It would be a good way of getting him to the vets without handling him. Perfect.
Good boy, aren't you?
Next day, off to the vets. Over weeks, we had a series of visits. Buster was neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, blood tests, and his eye investigated and treated. He was now going to have numerous rotten and broken teeth removed. I was so scared for him. To distract my mind for the day, I kept busy, so I didn't have a moment to think. It was a long day. I headed back to collect Buster and was so relieved the operation was a success. I could now start his rehabilitation to ensure he'd settle quickly into his future forever home.
He's precious.
The next morning, I was pleasantly surprised by this beautiful greeting. At first, I was cautious to touch him and completely underestimated his sweetness. All he ever wanted was food, shelter, and love, not to be kicked and shooed away. His little paw pads were peeling from pounding the pavements, and his body had taken a beating. I enjoyed seeing him eventually sleep on the bed, seeing his cheeky side, like when he sneakily taste-tested a bagel during the night. He began to play, making up for all those lost years. And every few minutes, he would come over for a reassuring pat.
Is he coming over for a cuddle?
It was time to put him up for adoption, and a lovely local family saw his post and fell in love.
We're off somewhere nice, aren't we?
That bittersweet day finally came, and I delivered Buster to his forever home, trying so hard not to cry. At first, Buster was too nervous to come out of his carrier, but soon loved his new family and cat friends. But sadly, as a direct result of the harsh years he spent on the streets, 2 years later, Buster passed away. Rest in peace, my little friend.